between our value system and their value system is that they expected that at Inject Party they would be paid heavy salaries for roles within the party. But what we are communicating today is that the work we do here is voluntary. Whatever we receive from Kenyans is only enough for fuel and security. Sometimes we go into our own pockets to pay our own accommodation when we go for Vampire Diaries. We go into our own, personally, I've gone into my own pocket to even finance purchase of some furnitures, to pay even some workers. So it's just not sufficient to make everybody as comfortable as they want to be. Remember, what we receive from Kenyans is out of goodwill, and it can only assist us to facilitate the work of civic education. It's not for our own comfort or for us to enjoy life. So I'm so sorry to them that we were not able to meet their expectations, but this is how things are, and they may have to get used to how the things are.
So every money that has ever come through the party leader has been accounted for and has been used for the right cause of the movement. Thank you.
So what I can add to what Mr. Mugane Mugo has said is that those phone numbers were my numbers before we started doing this. When we started, Kenya started donating to those numbers, I stopped using them for personal reasons, and now they were being used by the party. In fact, everybody here can say that they've had access to those phone numbers. In fact, even the messages you write to those phone numbers, Dalias has had, to read them, and then he briefs us on what is going on. So this is what happens. The reason we had to use a phone number to receive money is because, one, to avoid the conmen. Because when they send the money and the person they know is Morara, and they see the name imeleta kwa M-Pesa kebaso Morara, they develop a sense of trust. The second issue why we had to use those phone numbers is because we had a lot of support from the diaspora, which we still have to date. There are people who are in the US, who are in UK, who are in Germany, who support us and who support the movement to have fuel and to have security. So when they send, they usually use platforms like SendWave. Now on SendWave, you cannot send to a pay bill, and you cannot send to a till. You cannot send to a phone number. And that phone number has to be registered to an individual. Even if it is not Morara, it has to be someone else. So what we did is we created a 14-member team where 7 people come from Inject and 7 people come from the diaspora. So we have a team of 14 people, 7 who live outside Kenya and 7 who are here. And the 14-member committee, what it does is that they budget for money every month. They say, this is what we need. We need to pay watchmen. We need to pay security. We need to pay internet. We need to pay electricity. And we need fuel. We want to do this and this and this civic education in this and this and this place. Once they do the budgeting, then the expenditure is not even done by me. By the way, I'm not the one who usually pays. We have our finance director here, Farida. She's the one we call. Even when we are at the petrol station, she's the one we send the till number. Then she pays from our kitty. Then all the payments we've ever made, the receipts are there. So what we usually do every month, we usually sit down in the boardroom, we put together the receipt and we create an accountability report. The reason maybe some people feel left out in terms of this accountability is because we are limited. Our hands are tied as regards to how much we can share with you or with the general public. The reason is some of this information is very sensitive and it is critical to our security. For example, where we slept, for example, where we slept and where we paid to sleep is very critical information. Where we fuel, all right, or which car was fueled. Sometimes we leave our own cars here and we borrow cars for security purposes. So for that reason, if we publish all information just because we want to make so and so happy, at the end of the day, we'll be compromising our own security. And that is why whenever I post to request for financial support, I usually say, support us if you can trust us. So we believe that Kenyans still trust us because to this day, regardless of all the propaganda that goes on out there trying to tarnish our names, to this day, there are Kenyans who still believe in us and continue to support us, even today, even this morning, even 1 hour ago, even 20 minutes ago. There are Kenyans who send us 10 bob, 50 bob to support what we do. And we are putting together resources for different programs. For example, we are going to have Vijana Shika ID program, where we are going to encourage the youth to get IDs. We are going to have youth registration program. to help the youth to register as, what do we call it, as voters. We are trying to put together a group of friends to come and support us so that we see whether we can have either a music studio or just cameras for shooting, for helping people with the talent to be able to shoot content in this place or even to record music in this place, just as a way of reaching out to the youth and lifting them up with us, because when we go up, we want to go up with them. So we have all these programs we are planning. So sometimes we even have resources in the bank account, but those resources cannot be used because they belong to a certain program and we cannot remove it and put it in fuel. Ni mara nyingi sana hata sisi wenyewe tumetumia fedha zetu sisi wote binafsi. Any Kenyan who is out there, who is watching us today, that feels that they really need this information. This is not information that you can publish on our website or on our social media, because this is information that will be accessed by both our friends and our enemies. Just come here, give us a notice 3 days in advance so that the person who's supposed to give you this information prepares the information for you. Come here, sit down even for 2 hours or 3 hours, go through our records, be satisfied, including you who are in the media sector. You can give us a 3-day notice. You can come, go through our records one by one, see what we received, how we spent it, what we did with it, be satisfied. At least that way, we will know who accessed our information. So that if we see is out there, tutajua so and so and so and so and so and so are the ones that have accessed this kind of information. I hope you understand. Santeni sana. Sorry?
But in addition to what he said, there's still accountability documentation and financial reports that's usually published by him in his social media page. So there's nothing to hide. We are an open and accountable movement that is really strong on integrity, transparency, and accountability.
Any other?
The newest political party in Kenya as at now, I believe, is Inject Political Party, for the famous one, Morara Kebaso. This one, I think, is the latest political party that we have in Kenya as today, that has been registered with the register of political parties. And today, indications are out clear that some of the leaders of that political party are not in agreement with all that's being done. Earlier today, a section of its leaders came out to accuse Morara Kebaso of mismanagement of the funds that are being collected through free will, sending money to Morara Kebaso. And this one is a challenge to any political party. For one to run a political party, especially in Kenya, needs a lot of money. And this way, Morara Kebaso and the Inject Party is getting gifts and support from many Kenyans who either send them or support them through one way or the other. And by this, it has caused a lot of problems in the party. Some are claiming, those ones who have decided to part ways with the Inject Political Party, saying that there's a misappropriation of the money that they are getting, and two, that personal interests are ahead of the party, of their political party interest. So this puts it clear that that's a challenge in that political party. And Morara Kebaso has come out clear through the Secretary General for the party. And they have given out a statement, as you can listen here below. And this statement they've given out is a statement of defending the position which the others are claiming, that the personal interest supersedes the political party interest. So for me, this is the downfall of the political party, because one, the government has been trying to make sure that they are getting back the youth votes come 2027, and almost all possible efforts have been put ahead to make sure that the youths are voting in for President William Ruto again come 2027. So it could be a possibility that this one who are defecting from the political party could be serving their personal interests still blaming the interest of Morara Kebaso. And Morara Kebaso has come out clear saying that he still believes in the political party's agenda of keeping the government in check throughout the country, measuring that all the government's doing, they are being done in appropriate way, and the funds that they get from well-wishers to run the inject political party are being well utilized. So you can have a listen to what Morara Kebaso was saying, or the inject political party has given out a statement. You can listen to it and make your own judgment. But to me, this is one way that they are trying to break down the inject political party that seems to be taking ground. And coming 2027, perhaps when we move into the general elections, the youthful voices or the youthful votes are going to be taken to one place. So you can have a listen to this one and then you can make your own judgment.
Well, I don't know where the Cabinet Secretary, Honorable Hassan Joe, gets the time to even insult Kenyans on social media. Because those Kenyans who are on social media, if he says that they are idle because leaders like him who are corrupt have made it impossible for those young people to get opportunities, so they have a lot of time to be on social media. Secondly, I don't think that his level of education and intellect is one that would want to argue with. Okay, we are definitely more informed than he is. So we'd like him to attend classes so that we just educate him a little bit about our country. For example, I can educate him that there is 8.7 trillion worth of niobium at Mrima Hill in Lungalunga constituency in Kwale County that he needs to safeguard. There is money that is supposed to be remitted to the Kenyan government by Base Titanium, which has been doing mining operations in Kwale County and is winding up its operations this year. There is gold in Transmara constituency. There is even gold in Western province. There is oil in Turkana. I believe his plate is full. Where he gets the time to do this kind of things is what I do not know. I believe he has a lot in terms of safeguarding our natural resources and not participating in corruption or in online social media skits with young people who are unemployed because of corrupt leaders like himself. So it will be unworthy of the Inject party to engage with Ali Hassan Joe. We are a national party. Him is only a kingpin of some area in the coast of people, actually few people who believe in him. So we believe that even if we went to an election with Ali Hassan Joe, he would not garner a quarter of what we would garner in that election. So in this interview, it's completely worthless to have him as a conversation. He is just in the cabinet because he belonged to ODM and ODM was bought into the coalition government. If ODM was not bought into the coalition government, he would probably be still doing the same social media that he is insulting people for. Yeah, so Ali Hassan Joe should get his act together. And President William Ruto should prevent his ministers, cabinet secretaries like Ali Hassan Joe, from insulting Kenyans who are already angry and hungry from the collapsing economy.